You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1469. Today's tip features Horse Radio Network founder Glenn and his co-host Dr. Wendy Ying on the topic of arthritis. Dr. Ying explains how traditional Chinese veterinary medicine views this nearly ubiquitous condition.
And now it's time for Dr. Wendy Ying to show up, pop her head up, and do a traditional Chinese medicine segment. And this time we are talking about arthritis.
Yes, arthritis. This is the most common thing that we deal with in horses, right? I mean, everybody talks about arthritis. Anytime you're buying a horse, you're worried he has arthritis. And anytime your horse goes the least bit lame, you think, oh my God, he has arthritis. Right? So what's arthritis? We all know that because arthritis is the same in people, in dogs, and horses, right? It's when your joints get, you overwork your joints and your joint fluid is not as squishy, right? You lose viscosity, it's not as thick. And so what happens is that you don't have as much cushioning in your joints. So then when you put weight on your joints, you have pain. So your joints actually don't have any blood or nerve supply, right? The way that the cells inside your joints get food is by you moving your joints, and that squeezes the nutrients into the cells. So that's why sometimes when you don't move around, your arthritic joints feel more painful. And that also happens with horses. In Chinese medicine, we talk about two different forms of arthritis. This is kind of focused on geriatric horses, right? Older horses with arthritis. But we have, I always talk about the yin and the yang, right? So we have a deficiency of your yang, which is like your furnace. So that's the arthritis that gets worse when it's cold. Then we have a yin deficiency arthritis, and your yin is your air conditioner. So the yin deficiency arthritis is the kind that's worse when it's hot out, like worse in the summertime. And Glenn, have you ever heard of that old wives' tale that people with arthritis can tell you when it's going to rain because their joints hurt?
That's right, because everything starts to hurt.
Well, there's actually a scientific reason why that happens.
I always thought it was because of barometric pressure.
It is. It's the barometric pressure. So you know how sometimes you can see joints get swollen, right? It looks like a little puffy balloon by the joint. Well, barometric pressure is like the weight of the air against your body, right? So it can hold that swelling in. Well, when the barometric pressure gets lower, you can imagine a balloon, right? If the pressure is lower, the balloon can get larger. So that stretching of the joint capsule, it pushes on the nerves more, and that's why you get more pain. That was just a side thing. The reason I talk about the yin deficiency arthritis and the yang deficiency arthritis, because you treat it two different ways, right? So if you have a horse that is much worse when it's cold out and has that kind of arthritis, then that's the horse that's really going to respond well to things like the back on track blankets. They're going to respond to the things that keep them warm. That's the kind of horse that might need a quarter sheet when you go out in the cold weather. When you have ones that are worse in the heat, then those are the horses that might respond better to massage, and they might respond better more to more movement, right? So, and also you need to make sure you keep them hydrated, because dehydration the joint fluid is made from the plasma in your blood. So if you get dehydrated, which a lot of times in the wintertime, animals will get dehydrated, they work hard, they sweat, your joint fluid gets a lower volume and it can't cushion your joints as much. So we have 2 different formulas to treat arthritis for the heat deficiency, for the yang deficiency and the yin deficiency. So we talked a little bit about the equine duo earlier in the show. That's for horses like geriatric horses that are struggling with arthritis, that have problems when it's cold. But obviously, that formula warms the body. So if you have a horse with yin deficiency arthritis, this formula is not a great choice because this will make your horse more hot. So this is why sometimes people just see, oh, it's arthritis formula, I'll use this. But that is not always the case. That's not going to help your yin deficient horse get better. So for yin deficiency arthritis, we have an herbal formula called DGUP. And that actually, one of the main ingredients in there is root from the goji berries. And I talk about goji berries a lot, right? But we use it a lot in Chinese medicine. So that tonifies your yin. It tonifies your air conditioning, right? So that has herbs in it that helps your joints and then also tonifies your yin. But like on the converse, you can see how if you have a horse who's having trouble keeping warm, you don't want to give them yin deficiency herbs. You don't want to give them herbs that will make them colder. So that's how we look at arthritis in TCVM in 5 minutes.
And so where can people find the products?
So people can find that at drwendyying.com. And you can just search for the products. There's one other thing I wanted to say about joint therapy. With arthritis, I find that the treatment works much better when you do integrative therapy. So there are times when I will say to people, you need to talk to your general medicine vet and think about getting joint injections. Maybe it's gone so long that they actually do need that. And they can have intra-articular joint injections. And then acupuncture and herbs can help lengthen the time between the joint injections. Because joint injections aren't great, But maybe instead of having to have joint injections every 6 months or every year, you can push it out to a couple of times a year to manage a horse like that. Also, I always recommend Adequan and Legend for joint therapy, which Legend is hyaluronic acid and Adequan is glycosaminoglycans. And both of those molecules are what makes up the fluid in the joints. So those are really easy things you can talk to your veterinarian about to do to not only help your horse with arthritis, but we can also give those to horses, younger horses in work before they show the signs of arthritis, because it's chondroprotective, meaning it protects the cartilage that they have now. So that's always a good idea. It's very safe to give because it's molecules that are already in the body, and it's a great way to protect your horse's joints so that they live a long and healthy life.
Very good. drwendyying.com.
Well, there you have it. Horse Radio Network has thousands of engaging podcasts for horse people, and you can have them sent right to your phone. Just subscribe via your favorite podcast player. This is Coach Jen, and I will be back again soon with another tip. Until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.